नमस्कार, सलाम वालेकुम, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, गुड इवनिंग। आप जहां कहीं भी हो, मैं क्रिस्टीना एवर्स आपके दिल से स्वागत करती हूँ इस शो पे जिसका नाम है बीइंग द चेंज ऑन द चैनल वॉइस ऑफ मानवता। नाउ वॉइस ऑफ मानवता किसी का पर्सनल प्राइवेट चैनल नहीं है। दिस चैनल बिलोंग्स टू द पीपल एंड व्हाई डू वी से दैट? बिकॉज ऑन दिस चैनल वी ओनली स्पीक द ट्रूथ एंड वी ट्राई एंड inspire humanity. So human being across the globe, we try and inspire them. We bring people from different sector, different section of the society, different section of the world, and we listen to their journey, their life journey, how they have been the change, by being the change, how they are helping the society, how they are helping their own family. So me, Christina Evers, who's your host this evening, welcomes you on TV channel Voice of Manavta. And as I told you, the reason why I say we only speak the truth and we have people who are living on this channel. अदरवाइज जैसे हम हमेशा बोलते हैं, हम सिर्फ जिंदा लोगों से बात करते हैं क्योंकि वो सच बोलना जानते हैं, वरना चुप तो मुर्दे भी रहना जानते हैं. So today I have a very beautiful soul with me, a very special guest who is joining me all the way from South Africa. I have HE Professor Dr. HC Ambassador Mehreen Mia. Now, what should I tell about her? She has done her HC in Humanities, Education and Humanitarianism, Global Goodwill Ambassador, UNGA USA, President Success World One Academy, South Africa. She is the president of Shilpakro International Women's Council, Global Peace Ambassador, Professor of Educational Honor and Global Ambassador. She has got multiple global awards. She's a winner, including one of the top 30 leading change and awardees entering Women's Hall of Fame UK country. Representing a global educator, IDYM, IIU, GEN, GEF, IYS, etc. She's the founder of the MIA company, which is the MEA company, Transformational International Life Coach. She's a therapist and mindfulness and holistic empowerment specialist, a lifelong learner, and a human being who is so pure, full of life. She is on our show today, Being the Change, which is 19.0. Mehreen, welcome to the show. And we are eager to listen to your journey.
Assalamu alaikum to everybody, and thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to whoever is from wherever in the world. Thank you, Sister Christina. It's an honor to be on your show and to share my little bit of my journey with you and with everybody else. If we can impact at least one life and make that positive difference for someone, then that is the ideal and that is the purpose. So I am really honored to be a part of your show. Thank you so much. And thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome. It's really lovely having someone joining us all the way from South Africa. If you don't mind telling us, what's the time right now?
Just a second, I will tell you. It is currently 3:45 p.m. in the afternoon. Yeah, 3:45 in the afternoon.
And you're in India, it's like 7:15 p.m. in the evening.
Yes, the time difference.
So tell me something about your product, the founder. I mean, you're a founder of a particular product. What is that product all about?
The MEA company is called the MIA company. So my surname is Mia, MIA. And when I tried to register my company, I was eager to do it as the MIA. But I couldn't quite register it because there was no availability of MIA. So the closest I could get to my dad's surname is MEA, which is pronounced. So it's pronounced Mia, as his surname is. But it's MEA, and it stands for, M stands for motivate, E stands for empower, and A stands for advance. And as we talk about my journey, you'll get to know why and how the MEA was born. But Mia is in terms of my dad's legacy. When it was created and registered, it was done while he was alive. Unfortunately, I lost him not too long ago. So we ask for everyone to pray for him, that he is granted Jannah, paradise, and of course blessings to my mom and strength to her and to us all, because it's not easy coping without him at the moment. As an only child, he was my king. And as the only daughter, Obviously, I tried my best to keep his name going, and the best way was to try and do it via this, so his legacy stays alive, inshallah, via me and through this company, even if I am no more.
Well, please accept our heartfelt condolences to the entire family, especially to you. Love and light.
Thank
So,
you.
you said this was your father's legacy. How did you think that you would? I mean, have you ever thought that you would end up running the entire legacy on your shoulder? What did the society or the world treat you or thought about you when you actually discussed someone who would, take this on as a challenge and I will take care of this?
Well, let me start at the beginning to explain how MEA came about. Dad actually didn't even know. No one knew. It wasn't anybody's other than me. And it was born literally on a bed in a hospital when Mehreen was crippled. So I was crippled after a massive spinal operation. And I was told that it's not successful, even though the operation was successful at the time. And this was many, many years ago. I was just in the prime of my career. I just finished university. So the ideal was for me to become this lawyer, massive position in my company, having the, your name on a plaque on your door. This is your entity, etc., etc. So it was about law, because at university I studied psychology and law. And then, of course, I had a mishap on my spine, which led me into having spinal surgery and fusion, etc., etc. So fast forward to me lying in that hospital bed after a few days, of weeks, sorry. I was told that, the operation was successful, but you will not be able to walk again, unfortunately. So at the prime of my life, I think I was about 22, 23. I'm not too sure. Yeah, 22. So I'm not giving my age away here. It's just that was the age of what had happened. And I lay there and I'm thinking to myself in the hospital after having the discussion with the neurosurgeon and everybody else who was part of my group of medical people. And I thought, my gosh, what's going to be left with me? I mean, I'm in the prime of my life. Am I going to lie like this the rest of my life now? Because I had lots of dreams, like everybody else at that age, visions, lots of what I wanted to do, what I wished to do. But I must be honest and explain that the year prior to this incident of me being in that bed, I was a complete rebel, where I started to become somebody who wanted to just do my own thing. And that's in contrast to my character. That's in contrast to my personality, because my personality is this very motivated, driven somebody who wants this A grade all the time, who wants to push herself to the max. And when I had finished university, I felt like I need to do what I wish to do and not be a people pleaser anymore. I'm not interested in what mom says or dad says, what people say. I just want to do my own thing. And you go through these phases. It is natural for us all to go through these phases where we want to crash out everybody and just do your own thing. And it was a rebellious stage in my space. And the whole idea for me at that point was I'm trying to please myself. I'm not pleasing everybody else. Little did I realize that I'm not actually pleasing myself. And, every little day I'd have a slight either a headache or I'd have a little arm pain or whatever the case may be. And I would ignore it. But the point is that, in introspection, I realized that it wasn't actually a headache. It wasn't actually an arm ache. It wasn't actually my spine paining. It was actually the universe and my creator talking to me, trying to stop me from doing what I was persisting on doing, which was rebellious and wrong. So come what may, the spinal operation had to happen, which left me, of course, lying in that bed as a paralyzed. And then, of course, being told you're not going to be able to walk, have a child. Because of it being your L2, 3, and 4, having a child is not going to be possible, etc., etc., etc. And of course, the only person I had to lean on and to have any guidance from was my family, whom I actually threw away in that rebellious stage, which is my parents, because I had no child and I was not married at the time. And they were there, and I, of course, from the age of 11, I had a spiritual guide. And of course, in that year of rebellion, I kind of didn't do what my spiritual guide had always taught me to do. So the different prayers you need to do a certain time of day, the certain things you need to do for yourself So it's not where you worship the guide. It's actually where he teaches you to actually keep worshiping your creator to make sure you get the proper guidance you need for yourself. And I actually threw that away as well in that year of rebellion. So there came a day when I had my mom come to me, and he was on a call, and you know, when you're a little naughty child, Christina, and you get kind of caught out with being naughty, and your parents are ready to just trash you, and you get this, oh my God, look from your parents, and then you think, oh gosh, yeah, it's gonna come. That's kind of how I felt when I heard my spiritual guide's voice for the first time after that year. And that was while I was lying there. And this is where the big change happened for me, is when he was on the call with me. Now remember, my arms couldn't really move that well. I had no feeling in my leg or whatever, and all I could do was listen to this voice. So as soon as he greeted me, I felt like this naughty child who had been caught out by doing everything wrong. So I was like, oh gosh, here it comes, you know. And I just greeted him back. So I said, wa alaikum salam. And he just asked me, how am I feeling? And I just explained to him at the time that I was feeling weak, but I'm just lying here. I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't know whether I needed to apologize to him for not being how I was supposed to be, or how to react to the fact that he's on this call. And he then asked me a pertinent question. He asked me, so what did they say? And this is very important to the story of my journey, because he said, what did they say? And I said to him, well, they said I'm not going to walk again. And they said I won't be able to have children. And they said that the op was successful, and it's not working out for me the way they had thought. He said to me, the next very pertinent question is, what do you have to say about what they said? And I thought to myself, that's a bit ridiculous to ask me. So I said, I don't have much to say. These are the doctors, and they know what they're doing. They have the test results and whatever. So he said, you know what, I'm going to leave it at that. But I'm going to ask you this again. What do you have to say about what they've said? Okay? I'm going to ask you that and leave it there. And I'm going to tell you that I will see you soon when I'm back in South Africa, because he was in Makkah at the time. So we left it at that. And of course, that question rung in my head. And my immediate reaction when the call was finished was, what kind of a question is that? How can you ask me what do I have to say about what doctors say? I mean, for goodness sake, they're talking from results and science and data and stats. You know, they know what they're talking about. I can't quite argue with them. But give it a few hours after that call, I started to wonder about that question. And I realized what he was trying to get at. He was trying to get to me that the fact that they're saying these things about you based on what they have in front of them, yes, that's their prerogative. It's what they have to do. But what are you going to do about that? And I felt like maybe there's some remote chance that he was trying to get to me to say that I do have a say in whether I'm going to walk again. I do have a say in whether I'm going to have a child, whether I can fulfill my dream, etc. Maybe, just maybe. And I figured, but how? I don't know how. But leaving with that, I obviously was on meds all the time. So then I fell asleep. And I had a dream, Christina. Now, some will think that this is a really ridiculous story, but actually it's what happened with me. And this is why I do what I do. And in it, I heard him speak, but it was the dream. It wasn't him in person. And all his voice said in the dream was, you're given 3 gifts that you are born into this world. You're given the gift of your family. You're given the gift of your faith, which is your religion or your faith or whatever you belong to. And you're given the gift of your body. And in my rebellious streak, I threw away the gift of my faith, and I threw away the gift of my family. So here's what's happening. It's kind of where your creator is loving you so much that he's willing to give you a chance. And he's saying to you, Mehreen, I've not taken away half of the 3rd gift I gave you. So here I am, my physical self. He's taken away half of me, which is my spine. Of course, nothing else is functioning too well, except my mind. Except my mind. So he's saying to me, if you are willing and able to actually get in touch with yourself enough and do what is right, which you know is right, I will then give you back all 3 as a kind of a rebirth. So you yourself will get all 3 back, but you have to do your bit first. And that was it. And I knew instantly that one of the things I had to do was come to peace with the wrongs I had done. In that past year, to whomever I had wronged, including my mom, my dad, whomever I had caused pain to, including myself, because that's what I've done. I've hurt my personality, I hurt my character, I hurt who I was, I hurt my creator, I hurt my family. And so I felt I needed to apologize. And then I needed to make amends with myself for the wrongs and for the wanting to be something I'm not, because I thought that would please me. And in that sense, I hurt so many people. And that is where I felt my beginning needed to start again. It was 5 days after that. I had forgotten about all of these little instances, but 5 days later, my physiotherapist is so used to coming into, I was still in ICU. He was so used to coming into my room and, you know, when you take the pen and you go on somebody's foot like this to see if they have sensation, he was so used to doing that and just signing off my report, say nothing and walking away. And he walked in that morning and he did that on my foot and I kicked him. And I'll never forget how he felt. I never forget how irritated that I was at that feeling. And when I kicked him for the 3rd time, because he did it the 3rd time, I said to him, "Can you please stop doing that? It is most irritating." He said to me, "Can you actually feel this?" And then he kept doing it. And I said, "Yes, and you keep doing it. So please stop doing it because it's very annoying." I mean, this is 5:30 a.m., you know. And he looked at me and he said, "My gosh." And suddenly there was this like hubbub where he goes and he calls the nurses and then he called the neurosurgeon and everybody started to faff all around me like, "Oh my God, she can feel this." Then they tapped on my knee and I could feel that sensation. And it was this big thing because for them, it was a ruled off situation. For me, it was, why are you people going on about this? I'm supposed to recover at some point. But I didn't realize that I'm not supposed to have actually recovered the way I was. Of course, I had to be taught how to use the bathroom again, how to get in touch with my brain to connect with the rest of my organs so that I knew how to control, how to walk, etc., etc. So all of that had to come into play. But the crux of the story is that it took my mind and the power of my mind, the power of my thought, to actually get to negotiate with my being so that I could learn to walk again. So that's where MEA was born, Christina, on a bed of me being a cripple. So the M, I motivated myself to learn that I could take charge of me. I empowered myself so I could learn that I can become me for the power of me. And I advanced myself so that I can be who I am today. So MEA was born at that point, and it will keep progressing via me because that was the point of its birth. And when it was opened, I still never told anybody. So my family, my parents still never knew it was born. And I tried to then push it forward. So it was born in my mind on that bed. It was registered only, I think in 2016 or something like that, after my daughter and after my divorce, because that too was a challenge in itself. Because in my culture, you get stigmatized very often sometimes when you have divorce, when you have a child, and especially as a single mom with my parents, I had no siblings. So I felt like I was failing my mom and dad, and they never thought of me that way. My parents never ever thought of me as a failure. I kept thinking of myself in this space. So I kept having to try and take myself out of the mindset of what do people think, what do people feel? And I had to realize, you know what, if they don't feel that way, Mehreen, why do you keep putting yourself down? Your parents are key. And if they don't think bad of you, then why are you worrying about anybody else, so to speak? So Mia was born as a company, and I progressed through it. And alhamdulillah, by God's grace, there are so many women, especially, and children that have gone through, not my hand, I'd say God's hand via me, to actually do the MEA for themselves, where they grow themselves, They empower themselves, they motivate themselves, and then they take the tools away from me and they keep going. And my key is that if I can reach one person with what I have, like I said earlier through your podcast, but with what I give off to people in the webinars and whatever I do, if I can reach one person, that person is the catalyst to the next person. I might not be able to get to everyone in the world, but through one person, I can change that person, and that person can change the next person. And that is how it can keep going.
Absolutely, and your story has really been inspiring. I mean, apart from the biggest failure in life, I would say, I would quote it that way, I just don't want to hurt, but the physical aspect, that was one of the biggest challenge in your life, which
Yes.
you overcome only with the help of your creator.
Yes.
And that's what I keep telling my viewers, I keep telling my audience, the people who sees me out here, or when I am doing any show, or if I'm visiting anyone, I am nothing. I am just an instrument of the Almighty. I'm just an instrument in His hands. He is using me for His work.
Absolutely.
All thanks and praise must be to the Almighty.
Yes.
So, like even Manavta said, okay, if you cannot feed 100, but you can feed one. So try with one. So indeed, so apart from this, that physical aspect, and then you overcame that with the help of Almighty. Was there any other failure or criticism that you have faced when you actually, had registered your company, and then when you started working towards it? Was there any criticism from your own people or from the people in the society, and how did you overcome?
There's always challenges, Christina. There's always difficulties, and there's always the lot of people that are in society who are waiting to tear you down. So instead of building each other up, you will have people, and sometimes, sadly, the honest fact is that you will have those closest to you who wish the worst for you. And it takes a lot of pain and heartache for you to face that reality, and then for you to realize, listen, and to get to the point of where I'm at now is, this is me, this is my bubble, this is my baby. I will nurture and nourish it to the best of my ability, and if you are not going to be a positive force for that, then you will have to exit my bubble. But it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of work internally within you to get to that point where you are able to say, I am not going to allow anyone to stop me. I'm not going to allow anyone to deter me. I had people up to the point of actual cyberbullying, where they would go up and make up posters about me that were false. They would go to the extent of saying wrong things about me to people in society, so I stopped getting clients, things like that. And then initially you ignore these things, but then I got to a point where I wanted to know who and what is behind this. Why are you doing this? I'm no saint. Nobody is a saint. Everybody has done wrong. The ideal is for you to be able to acknowledge when you've gone wrong, where you've gone wrong, and make it right, and never to repeat those wrongs, right? So this is what we have to do. But I'm saying to myself, if I'm able to come 360 from any wrong I have done and try to make a better person out of me and try to earn a little income for me to look after my daughter, my family, which is my parents, why is there this third force that needs to constantly negate what I'm doing or try and stop what I'm doing? And then only for you to learn and find out that sometimes the enemy is closer than you believe or think, and was not who you wish to know or believe that there is could be, because it's always somebody that you love, or it's somebody closest to you, or somebody you trusted. So I have endured that, and that takes a lot of pain in my part. And I say it's more pain than some might believe, and that's not to make anyone else's pain lesser than mine, but it becomes more difficult for somebody like me, because when you're an only child, you tend to trust a lot of people very easily. You tend to look for the sister in the next person. You tend to look for the brother or the big brother that you wish you had in the next person. And you tend to look for even that, and even trust people too much too quickly, only to find that your trust in them is actually them using what you have given them as tools against you. And then they realize the hard way that Mehreen is not here to compete with me. Mehreen is not here to do wrong to us. Why did we do this? But the whole idea for me is I'm not at a point where I want to compete or even try to defend myself as a being anymore. I merely let people say what they need to say, do what they need to do, because Christina, now my point of philosophy in which I teach to many people is I can't control people. I can't control what people say. I can't control what people do. I can't control what people think of me. I can just control myself. So this is my lane. This is my race that I am running. I want to get to my finish line, which Allah knows when will be. But when I do that, it must be to the point of where I've lived to the best of my ability and to the best that He is pleased with. Of course, if my child is going to be happy with the legacy her mom leaves, this is also my goal. If my parents are happy with who I am as their daughter, this is also a goal. But it's not that I live for other people. I live purely for me and for my Creator now.
Wonderful. We have someone from India by the name of Kainat Khan. She tells you, Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Alaikum salam.
So that was a message that I just wanted to convey to you. Well, it's really beautiful, you know. Even we all have been through struggles in life. More than success, we see struggles, we see failures. But majority of the people, they don't want to talk about the failures. Being a single parent, how difficult it is, I can completely understand. But then again, my only saying is to the nation, to the world, to the people watching us, if you cannot uplift someone, please do not try to bring them down. It's a humble request to the society. So that's the reason I keep saying, अगर उड़ान भरने हो तो ऊंचे भरो, नीचे दिखाने के लिए लोग हैं ना। अगर सब बड़ी देखो, आपको छोटा दिखाने के लिए लोग हैं ना। So that is one thing I always believed. And when we talk about women empowerment, it should not be a jealousy factor. If you see someone, maybe your sister, maybe your neighbor, maybe someone who is just an acquaintance, if you cannot help them, motivate them, encourage them, please do not try to bring them down. Try to spread love in this world which requires more of that. Try to bring a smile on someone's face because the world needs more of that today.
Absolutely.
It's the reason we had Mehreen out here to come and talk to us, to talk about her journey. And it's truly been inspiring, you know. It's such an inspiration to have someone like you on a show. And you have done things which I would say it was a miracle. When even the doctors had given up on you, the Almighty did not give up on you. The Almighty said, no, you need to realize the gifts that I had given you. You have that potential. It's just that you are not valuing it. And the moment the gift given to me, I need to work upon that. You know, you were perfectly okay because that was the Almighty who was working through you. And He has blessed you with a new life, which you are putting into change. You are being the change. You are bringing it forward to the. So we have Meghra ji as well out here. Meghra ji, कोई सवाल आपका मेहरीन जी के लिए?
सत श्री अकाल, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं पहले तो देखो, मुझे इतनी बड़ी खुशी हो रही है कि हमने तो ऐसा सुना था पहले कि मुस्लिम महिलाएं जो है ना सिर्फ घर में काम करने के लायक ही होती हैं, बुर्का पहनने के लायक होती हैं, वो अंदर ही बैठने लायक होती हैं। लेकिन आज पहली बार देख रहा हूँ कि मतलब इतनी हाईएस्ट एजुकेटेड इंग्लिश बोल रही है वो भी। और इंग्लिश तो एक इतनी मतलब पूरे वर्ल्ड की इतनी हाईएस्ट मतलब रिचर्ड लैंग्वेज है कि इसको मतलब अगर इंसान बोले तो मेरे ख्याल से पूरे वर्ल्ड के अंदर मैसेज आएगा आपका। तो कृष्णा जी एक बात बोल रही है, अपने अगर कोई इंसान मतलब बहुत सारे सोचते हैं कि कोई अगर किसी को उठा नहीं सकता तो उसको गिराए भी मत। एक कहावत जो है ना इसको हमने चेंज करनी पड़ेगी। अब एक आदमी की जो है ना, एक आदमी को तो दिमाग में ऐसा लगा कि इसको गिराना ही है। अब एक आदमी अगर उसको गिराना चाहता है तो उसको मानेगा थोड़े किसी की बात को, उसको क्यों हम उसके चक्कर में टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। गिराने वाले तो गिराते रहेंगे। आप अपने आप को संभाले कि वो कोई कुछ भी कहे, हमने अपने काम को करना। अगर कोई हमें कहेगा, हम तारीफ करेगा कोई हमारी या बुराई करेगा, उसके भरोसे मत जिए, अपने भरोसे जिए। खुद के स्टैंड रखे है कि हमें कोई गलत भी कहता वो कह सकता है, हमें कोई अच्छा कह सकता है, तो उसके भरोसे अगर जिएंगे तो हम दूसरे के भरोसे लाइफ को नहीं जी सकते, क्योंकि अगर को आज हमें किसी ने भला कहा तो कल को हमें बुरा भी कहेगा तो हमें बुरा लगेगा, और जब बुरा लगेगा तो अच्छा लगेगा। तो ये चीज जो है ना लाइफ को रोक देती है। तो हम चाहेंगे उसको कि इस बात पर ना अटके, क्योंकि अगर सब्जी वाले के पास में हम सोना लेने जाएंगे तो सोना नहीं मिलेगा, और सोने वाले के पास में सब्जी लेने जाएंगे तो सब्जी नहीं मिलेगी। तो जो किसी के पास में है वही देगा। अगर किसी के प्यार में है, उसको कहे भाई ये नफरत करे लोगों से, तो कैसे करेगा वो? अगर किसी के पास में नफरत है और उसको कहे ये प्यार करे लोगों को, तो कैसे करेगा वो? उसके अंदर प्यार है ही नहीं है, उसके अंदर तो दिमाग के अंदर तो सब कुछ गलत बढ़ा हुआ, तो सही कहाँ से आएगा? तो मेरा कहने का मतलब सिर्फ इतना ही है कि दूसरे को बोलो जिंदगी मत जिए, खुद के स्टैंड रखे, अपना स्टैंड कायम रखे। कोई बुरा कहता है कहने दो, कोई भला कहता है कहने दो, अपना स्टैंड क्लियर रखो कि मैं जो अच्छा काम करना उसको कोई दुनिया की ताकत आ जाए मैं उसको करता रहूंगा या करती रहूंगी। जो भी है हमें रोकने के लिए लाख, मतलब मेरे पीछे रोकने के लिए करोड़ों खड़े हैं फिर भी हम चल रहे हैं। हाँ,
इसीलिए मैं जो बोल रही थी, अगर उड़ान भरने हैं तो ऊंचे भरो, नीचे दिखाने के लिए लोग हैं।
अगर उसको छोड़ दीजिए, अगर को छोड़ दीजिए, उड़ान भरनी है तो मतलब ऊंची भरो ताकि मंजिल आपके लिए बहुत आसान हो जाए। और दुनिया को उड़ान तो जब ऊपर उड़ता है ना आदमी, तो फिर मतलब उड़ान एक विचारों की उड़ान होती है, तो आदमी सबको नजर आता है। तो अगर को हटा दीजिए वहां से, उड़ान भरनी है तो ऊंची उड़ान भरो ताकि सबको नजर आए और कामयाबी की तरफ कदम बढ़ाते चले ताकि कामयाब हो जाए। इधर ध्यान रखें। सत श्री अकाल। आपने मेहरीन जी आपका स्पेशल धन्यवाद, और कृष्णा जी आपको भी स्पेशल धन्यवाद। अच्छे अच्छे गेस्ट लेकर आते हैं, शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद।
So Mehreen, we are really happy to have you on our show, and I sincerely say this, okay, and I mean it, because your story has really been inspiring. I might be referring your name for a global meet to, elsewhere, and they might get in touch with you,
I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Details with me on WhatsApp. I will definitely try and refer your name, because your story has truly been inspiring. And all the very best with your business that you're into. I so wish you got something close by in India. I would have asked you to give me some products of yours. I would have tried them on myself. But yes, being a single parent, it's not easy. All our blessings to your daughter in abundance. Our blessings to you, because we are nothing. It's the Almighty who takes care of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Christina, I want to firstly say thank you again for this podcast, but I want to just reiterate to everybody that the key to everything is you being you and education. Like you said in my introduction, lifelong learner, I will always be this. But I want people to understand the titles and the accolades are all from your creator. I'm very honored to have all these different titles and certificates, etc. I will keep learning, so I'll keep gaining them, inshallah. But I'm not gaining them to put them on a wall. You can have 30 to 100 certificates. The worth of your certificate or your accolade is only based on what you are doing with it to help humanity. So what is the key? What is the need for your education if it's just to be sitting on a wall? It's what you do with it and the difference you're making to people's lives about it. And that's what the whole idea is. So thank you again to you. I'm really honored, and thank you for the reference that you wish to make. But it is really an honor to meet you. It's an honor to be on your podcast. And the key to everything is to just really be the change. To be that change, you have to be very aware of yourself. You have to be very in touch with yourself. And you have to be honestly aware with who you are, what about you needs to change, and what about you needs to be different to bring about the positive change for you. Because if you change yourself, automatically the catalyst effect things around you will change also. So the key is for every individual out there to know that you have the Mia within you, the MEA. You can motivate yourself, empower yourself, advance yourself. And it's not just about money, it's about your mind. And you are in control of this. So you take back control of you by taking back control of your mind, your thoughts, how you talk to yourself, etc., etc. But you can do all of this by being totally honest with you, be totally honest about you to yourself. And when you are honest to yourself about yourself, you are then starting to get in touch with your creator. Talk to him about the changes you need to make within you. He will give you the strategies you need, and be more aware of what he's saying to you, and what those messages are, because that is what your link is. That is how you're going to actually become the change that you need to be and feel. So thank you again. Thank you so much.
So my message to the entire people, all the people out there watching us today, no matter what, you can't go shopping for happiness that's within you. You need to find that happiness which is within you. You can't find your own happiness in someone else's life. So stop comparing yourself with someone else. Stop competing with anyone in this world. If you want to compete, compete with yourself. If you want to be happy, happy with yourself. If you want to make peace, first make peace within yourself. And that's when you would find true happiness in this world. Do not forget, humanity exists in each one of us. It's just that we need to become human beings first in order to serve humanity. Because no matter what you do on this earth, you're answerable to only one person, that is your creator, your Almighty. So thank you so much to all our viewers out there. Thank you, Mehreen, for your time. Thank you, Meghaji, for your time. Thank you to all the people who have sponsored this show, who still have their faith intact in us. And we would try and do and bring the best of the people, the best of the stories to you, their life journey, how they can be the change. And then one day you can also be the change, and we are all being the change in this world and in our society. Thank you. Shabba khair. Allah Hafiz. Good night. Take care of yourself. Keep smiling and spread smile wherever you go. Good night.